What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Firewall, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome, everybody. Another great action-packed show. So this should be Tuesday's show. Should be show number 2 for the week. We do a show Monday, Tuesday for topics, Wednesday discussion, and then Friday we do everything else but cyber. So definitely tune in for all of our shows. If you listened to yesterday, Monday's episode, it was Shannon discussing a initiative, Pass the Mic, where we talk about just social media accounts were turned over to people of color within those organizations to spotlight them. So definitely tune into that episode. But without further ado, I turn it over to LeVon.
Yes, sir. It looks like today we have a article. I think this is from Reuters, if I said that right, Reuters.com. And this is exclusive government's turntables on ransomware gang REvil by pushing it offline. And this is by Joseph Mean and Arman and Christopher Bing. And essentially in this article, it goes into discuss about, as we all know, the ransomware group REvil. They've been pretty popular in the news as of the last year. They're responsible for like the Colonial Pipeline outage, as well as the issue with the meatpacking JBS, and I believe that was in Brazil, where they pretty much like encrypt a lot of the company's data, and they also like leaked out a bunch of data to extort the company for some money. But essentially in this article, it kind of goes to describe that I guess the government was, several governments worked together, including, I think it's the US, as well as like some Russian anti-hacking organizations working together to basically boot REvil offline, and they were able to. And essentially it goes into the article here. Let me find a good portion here to, I want to read it off a little bit to the audience. Let's see. The FBI, in conjunction with the Cyber Command, the Secret Service, and like-minded countries have truly engaged in significant disruptive actions against these groups, said Kellerman, an advisor of the U.S. Secret Service on cybersecurity investigations. REvil was on top of the list. Obviously, this has been like a big focus of these organizations to get REvil, because they've been making the biggest impact, I think, on some of these major companies compared to some other ones that may have been kind of leaked through the cracks that we don't really hear about. But nonetheless, they were able to knock them offline at one point. And let me go down to the section of the article here. They knocked them offline, and then what pretty much happened is they knocked them offline, but they ended up restoring the stuff from like a backup. But unknowingly, they kind of restored internal systems that were already controlled by law enforcement. So essentially, they got knocked off, but then they brought them back online. But then they just pretty much allowed our government or the law enforcement to be able to go back into the systems and to basically shut them down again. As a result, they're pretty much offline at the moment. I think the one of the gang members called Zero Any Day, or maybe it's one day. It's 0_ any day. He was saying that I guess they found him on a cyber criminal like chat line or some forum somewhere, and basically he was saying that let me find his exact words, because I want to make sure I do him justice. But for the most part, he was saying that he kind of gave up. He's like, oh, they got compromised again, so I'm out of here. So he pretty much like was done with that group. And then one of the main I guess culprits, known as Unknown with REvil, has been offline. Has been kind of quiet. He's pretty much disappeared from the web as of now. They haven't really heard much from him as far as like any kind of follow up to kind of I don't know, try to put out a good word or try to save face as far as what's been happening with their the compromised systems. But It looks like, we partnered with a Russian-led security group, a company called Group IB, and it's one of the guys there, Oleg Skulkin, said the REvil ransomware gang restored the infrastructure from backups under the assumption that they had not been compromised. Ironically, the gang's own favorite tactic for compromising backups was turned against them. And that's basically what ended up kind of doing them in again. They used these backups that were already compromised. And this article describes that reliable backups are one of the most important defenses against ransomware attacks, but they must be kept unconnected from the main networks, or they too can be encrypted by extortionists such as REvil. So yeah, this is just like a pretty good article about some of the workings. I mean, I'm glad to see that we've been following up on these groups, and we're actively working together with other countries to try to shut them down and make sure that they're not following up and continuing to compromise our essential infrastructures and organizations. But I guess with that, did you guys have some thoughts on it?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny that they knocked him down not once but twice. Like it's I mean, the irony is definitely there. What's crazy is the initiative was global like that. Like not only because I believe it to be U.S. led with other countries in there as well, because we're kind of taking the lead on offensive cyber, at least to my understanding. So it's good to hear it. I wonder if they play like the Avengers soundtrack when they're attacking people,
right?
Because it really was retribution, right? Like they were seeking revenge.
Yeah.
But it is funny that they not okay. So we're compromised. So like everybody's disaster recovery plan, right, is to come up on backups, and then they came up on backups, and those backups were then encrypted. So you're dead in the water at that point. So it goes to show that hackers are human as well. You know what I mean? Like they fell for their own trick, their own TTP, or what is that? Tactics, techniques, and procedures, right? So we've been talking about it for years about offensive cyber, but we didn't really do it, to my understanding, just because there's a lot to it. To take a stance and to actually attack a group, there has to be laws and rules, and in this case, international law that supports you, right? Because you're pretty much crossing the border of another country to attack a group in this case. But they actually made it happen. Like, so I'm very surprised by that, because again, we've been talking about it for years. Like cyber's been mostly defensive, especially at the DoD and government level. But now you see, like anybody can get it. So REvil was number one. So if you're number two out there, you might be like, I might want to calm down a little bit, or you might want to get it in while you can. I mean, get a couple Bitcoins before they come get you. But as we saw in the past, like the Department of Justice, I believe, was able to recover Bitcoin. So that's also crazy. Nobody, to my knowledge, I have not come across an article yet that has explained how they did it, since the entire purpose of crypto is to be decentralized and to be untraceable. But they pulled like $2.5 million back. So be careful out there. not to warn the bad guys, but it looks like we're coming for you. Like with a particular set of skills, right? So I think it's pretty cool. What about you, Shannon?
Oh man, got him, coach.
Yeah.
Got him. So look, the Colonial Pipeline was our Colson, right? As soon as they killed that, we went after.
Oh yeah,
that's when they formed, right? You mess with our gas, that was Fury's one good eye right there. So yeah, no, look, I love to see this, right? Like to get them twice like that is just like, oh, you thought you was better than us, right? Like we got you. Okay, remember them tricks you was doing when people bring up the backups that were bad? Got him. Got you again. You know what I mean? So this made me think about, this was several months ago, and I don't remember when we did the story on it, but remember when the DoD opened, they started using all those IPs again. Remember we had all those reserved IPs.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I think this was one of the reasons why. I'm not saying specifically for REvil. I'm saying for entities like them. Like, I think that was one of the reasons that they were like, okay, we're going to get into the offensive game now because we're sick of people just, I think we're just kind of sick of taking a diplomatic approach and hoping, sorry about that, hoping you don't, hoping you don't do anything to us, right? So, yeah, this warms my heart right here. You know what I mean? Because this should be a good deterrent, right? Now, granted, it could just be an inconvenience for some of these groups, right? They're like, okay, well, storage is cheap. We'll go get some new hard drives, right? We'll go start it up again, go a different way, change our name. It's like going for bankruptcy, right? You can't use that same name again, right? You can't be Circuit City now. Now you got to be whatever the new name is,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, this hopefully this is a deterrent. I think jail time would be a better deterrent. Like if they were to actually find out who these people are, there's zero any day or whatever. If they find them and be like, okay, well, we got you because you caused, this is the number we come up with. That's always an overinflated number on the amount of damage you caused, right? Like there was 10 cars that blew up because people were putting gas in plastic bags and putting them in their right? So we're gonna guesstimate it's like $25,000 a car right there, right? So that's $250,000, right? It's always stuff. It's always those overinflated estimates.
Yeah, eval math.
Yeah. That's how you gotta do it. Yeah. You'd be like, what? You saved $1 trillion base? What? How do you come to that conclusion? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But no, it's I love to see this stuff. And this is what we need to start. This is what we need to start doing more of, right? Like make them think twice before they do these types of things. And even though with REvil, even though they kept saying, well, they didn't keep saying, but they had put out a statement saying it was not their intention to cause the harm that they did for, was it the JBS one? I think it was JBS. It could have been a Colonial Pipeline, whichever one.
It was Colonial Pipeline, yeah.
Colonial Pipeline, yeah. They were like, even though that wasn't our intention, like, we don't care what your intention is. Like, we got something for you, right? Keyboard warriors, mount up. but yeah, I love it.
Yeah. It was a pretty crazy story because I saw the headline. I was like, we already know about that. So when I clicked through it, I was like, oh, this is new. Right. This is very current. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like, so for me, I would think the psyops is like at an all-time high. Like if I was one of those key guys in that group and they compromise me to this level, I'd be very paranoid. Like, do they know where I'm at? Do they know who I am? Like, so I would disappear. Like, you know what I mean? I would get out the game. So I think just on that is a deterrent, right? How compromised are we? How much do they know about us for them to do us this way? I would think that they would be so paranoid they'll probably drop off for a while. But that's just me. Like I can't do jail. Yeah. So I get paranoia hits real fast. Like, nope. Nope, no thank you. I'm out. I'm clean.
Hey, now everybody's built for it. That's how it goes.
Right. Right. Especially not international prison. Like, what is even in there? Like, what is an international prison?
I've seen Jack Reacher and I want to keep all my fingers, right? The Czech, what was his name? Was it the Czech or I forget what his name was in the first Jack Reacher. But they translated to like human being or something like that. But remember, he was missing his fingers. He was in that Russian prison or whatever it was. You guys have never seen Jack Reacher? Okay.
Right. I haven't seen it. I have not. Yeah. That sounds terrible though.
Yeah.
I know it's probably the Tom Cruise thing that's keeping you away from watching it, but it's actually a good movie. It's a series. I think it's a series of short stories. The guy did short stories or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I have not gotten back to it yet. I told you about my whole espionage thing, right? The double, triple crossover, like espionage gets me. Once you double the cross, was it double cross it? Like I'm pretty much out. Now you can go triple cross it? Nah, no thank you. It's too much. I can't keep up.
Right.
Up. That shouldn't even be a thing, right? Like it should be, wait a minute, you triple cross. Like, did you come back to where you were? Like, what happened here?
Right. I was lying about the double cross.
Yeah.
That's right. Stay on your team.
Yeah. I'm back, guys.
I'm back.
Hey, I was with you the whole time.
Like not for me, but no, I thought it was a good article. Hopefully this keeps up. I don't know who number 2 is. I don't even know if they disclose who the numbers are, right? for like attack purposes, but they're doing big things. Like they do the thing with the smartphones. Remember they got people to confess about crimes through
It was the
burner
app.
phones.
It was they was giving them the phones of the app.
Made a crime syndicate app, and now they're taking on ransomware gangs head on. So who's to say what's coming up next? Like I would be very weary if I were them. But Wednesday's discussion also not necessarily is about this topic, but just more initiatives by the administration. So definitely tune into that one as well. But with that being said, I think we've come to the end of this show. Some land is playing. Hit up the website. It's www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. So you can tell our social medias. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. I look forward to your questions. And LeVon?
You hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.
You take care.